Hey, this is your host Bethany with Career Source Suncoast, coming to you directly from sunny Sarasota, Bradenton. I'm here to bring you real stories from our community, everything from struggles to success, and the impact of what it really means working the Suncoast. Hello again, it's your host Bethany. Today I'm at Thrive, our entrepreneurial business accelerator and co-workspace. Today, I have two very special guests, Cordell Jeter and Ciliana Jean. Let's hear their insights and suggestions on what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur in the Sarasota Bradenton area. Hi everyone, it's Bethany again. Welcome back to Working the Suncoast. Today we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. I have with me here Cordell Jeter. He is the founder of Tract Mobility, and he's going to tell us a little bit about these wonderful all-terrain chairs that he's introducing to our area. Cordell, tell me a little bit about this.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome.
So, Tract Mobility was formed out of an epiphany. Friends and family did a fundraiser for me and raised money to allowing me to acquire an all-terrain tract chair. I really didn't think much about it when they were doing the fundraiser, but when I got it, I drove across 40 feet of grass and into the woods in my backyard, and it was mind-boggling. It was truly an epiphany of freedom that I had forgotten. I didn't realize how easy it was to get across 40 feet of grass and go into the woods. And then while in the woods, I started thinking about the difference between impossible and possible, and that's what this chair meant to me. And then the concept being is that people need to know about this technology. Kids with disabilities had never had the opportunity to experience this level of freedom, rolling through grass or driving through the woods. I work with disabled veterans who have lost limbs or have paralysis due to war, who thought they have lost a freedom, yet with this technology, that level of freedom was really possible. And so that is really where Tract Mobility was born, out of the catalyst of people need to know that this technology is available. If I didn't know, then other people don't know. And I wanted to be able to bridge that gap of access and technology and awareness.
Cordell, tell me a little bit about yourself personally. Are you a local of Sarasota, Bradenton?
I live in Northport. So yeah, I'm a resident of Sarasota County for about a half dozen years now. I love it down here. I think it added about 10 years to my life. I came out of Northern Virginia, Fairfax County.
Oh, wow.
Very hustle and bustle, cutthroat. Down here, it's a little more laid back, a little more family oriented, community oriented. I love it down here.
Do you tell me a little bit about your inspiration of in developing these chairs and introducing them to areas such as Siesta Key?
So when I first discovered this chair and got in there and found out how life-changing it really was, one of the first problems I came across was realizing that the expense of the technology. On average, the chairs cost about $12,000 and above. There are some chairs out there for $10,000, but when it's all said and done, it really averages out to about $14,000. And that's a very expensive cost, and most people can't afford to purchase this type of technology for specific events, being outdoor, off-path mobility. So it truly is a tool. So $12,000 to $14,000 spent on a tool is difficult to do. And so that is where we came into the model going, okay, so if you can't purchase it, maybe you can rent it. Then became the next hurdle. So you want to rent it. How do you transport this chair that's 30 wide by 48 inches long and weighs 400 pounds? Mm-hmm. So we had overcome that obstacle saying, well, they need to be where they're inherently needed. This technology is inherently needed at our commercialized beaches, state parks, and national monuments, just like scooters that are located at every Walmart, grocery store chain, Lowe's, and Home Depot. They're ready there for our community and our citizens to utilize. And so that became the business model. So is to actually have the chairs located where they're inherently needed and then provide a means to access, rental. So that's where this whole program really developed. And Sarasota County has stepped up to the plate and heard our drumbeat, providing us access directly on Siesta Key Beach, giving opportunities for our seniors and citizens with limitations to severe disabilities access to the beautiful white powdery sands of Siesta Key Beach. #1 beach in the country.
Tell me about some of the obstacles that you have encountered just in the process of starting this unique business for such a niche market. What are some of the things that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis as an entrepreneur?
Awareness. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. People, when we tell people what we're doing, it's like the aha moment. Duh, that makes sense. Why haven't they done that before? Well, then the next step is making people aware that that's what you're doing. So we talked about social media, advertising, marketing dollars. Those are dollars that have to come from somewhere. If you don't have them as an entrepreneur, and you start to look for credit cards, you start to look for other avenues. So I think a big obstacle not only is the technology, but creating the marketing, the advertising, the awareness of what you are doing, what your campaign is about.
That's fantastic, Cordell. Tell me, since I'm so interested, with this being such a thriving area, there you go, the word thrive, I love it. Tell me, what is some type of advice that you would give to a fellow entrepreneur just in Sarasota and Bradenton looking to start up a business? Maybe it's a food truck, maybe it's something unique like you're doing. What kind of advice would you give to them in their moment of need?
As an entrepreneur, you have to live this business or live your business. I think it is your baby. You have to take care of it in sickness, when they're happy, when they're sad, when the diapers are full. It is your business. You have to take care of it, and realizing that you can't rush time, you can't rush growth. And you have to be persistent with what you're doing and moving forward, knowing that the end game in mind is to have your baby grow up to be mature and be able to be self-sustaining. And that takes time and a lot of obstacles, and understanding that obstacles is just another step forward.
Well, as an entrepreneur, you're obviously a very busy person. How do you keep up with this? Do you have any tips and tricks?
Well, I guess keeping the end game in mind and understanding that it's a journey, that this is not something that's going to happen overnight. Again, it's your baby. You're raising it up. You have to start with a solid foundation and understand where you want it to be, and in between the vision and where you're starting or where you are today is nothing but obstacles. That's all it is. You're building your company on a solid foundation and overcoming obstacles. Every obstacle you overcome, the stronger you get, the better your company's going to be.
I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I'm just curious, because with this wonderful and unique product you have you had one of those epiphanies, one of those aha moments where you feel, I've created something, I see it now? And tell me a little bit about an experience like that.
It happens daily. And I say it's daily because the goal is creating access for people who didn't have access. So when you have a person who's been dealing with Lou Gehrig's disease for the last 20 years, to say this is the first time they've been on the beach independently in the last 10 years, it is instant gratification. That's what we're there for. When you have a disabled veteran come up who's missing both their legs and due to war, and having for them to go down to say that they're shark tooth hunting with their kids, for our seniors to come up using a walker where they used to sit up on the sun deck, to say now they went down and actually put their feet in the water. That is daily gratification to say that we are doing the right thing. Now it's just a matter of creating greater access and greater awareness.
Well, everybody, you've heard it here from our Thrive Initiative and Career Source Suncoast. I want to thank you so much for coming on for this episode today, Cordell. I truly appreciate your insight. Thank you
for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you again. Hey everyone, it's Bethany again. Welcome back to Working the Suncoast. Today is all about entrepreneurship. I am here with Ciliana Jean, and she has created this awesome concept of Hayleen's. It is a Haitian and New Orleans cuisine. So, Celiana, tell me a little bit about what you're working on right now with this wonderful sounding food that you've created.
All right. Well, as you just mentioned, my name is Celiana Jean, owner and operator of Halen's Creole Catering. Right now, what we have is basically a fusion. So I have Haitian Creole, which is where my family is from, and New Orleans cuisine. And I basically taken the two and created a fusion to represent the ultimate Creole. Or what I've created to be the ultimate Creole. Yeah. Good stuff.
Sounds really good. Tell me, since are you new to the business? Have you worked in the restaurant business before? Or?
Well, I've always worked in the restaurant business. I've been working in the restaurant business since I was 16 years old. It's one of those things that all of us restaurant heads are embarrassed to say. I'm a lifer. I'm a lifer. But in a different way, where if I've taken something I love and I'm creating something new, something fresh, and, and making it happen the way I feel like it should happen and make people feel. I think it should make them feel.
Food is a great way to really get into people, isn't it?
For sure.
Tell me, are you local to the Sarasota Bradenton area?
I am raised, not born, but I've been raised in Bradenton. So I am a local, Sarasota too, because I'm here enough. Yeah, but I've been raised in Bradenton, Florida.
So what kind of venues are you diving into right now with this cuisine?
Right now I am I've started off just doing kind of like at home, celebrations and stuff like that. But now as the company is growing, we're on our second year, operating in our second year. I've been able to get into, churches. I've been able to get into, I've even done some professional sports teams, baseball players.
Exciting.
That was very exciting. And right now I'm working on doing a event for the Sarasota Chamber of Commerce. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So you're in your second year of business then?
Second year.
Tell me a little bit about the progress from where you very first started to where you are now. Just highlight something that was kind of just like, wow, this has happened in my entrepreneurship journey.
I was so excited about my journey because it makes me very excited. It makes me kind of give myself a pat on the back. When I first started off, I basically started off in my patio. It was my mom's patio because I was like, I've always felt like, oh, well, to start a restaurant, you have to be like $50 million, just to start a restaurant. And then, one day I just kind of broke that mentality and said, I don't have to be that age and I don't have to have that money. I'm just going to start now. And it started off with just me starting at in the patio, basically creating a assembly line and saying, hey, I'm open. Here's the bell. Everyone come and get it. To growing, into full on catering and getting myself established as a licensed caterer to say, I want to do bigger and better jobs and whatnot. So it's been a journey from starting from there and coming into being licensed and basically dealing with different type of people, clientele, or whatnot. So it's been very good all the way up until now, being part of this Thrive program where, I'm basically being forced to go farther, sharpen my skills, and, just become better at my craft. So, starting from a patio to here, it's very different and exciting.
Entrepreneurship, it's such an interesting thing to hear. You have these people that are making millions of dollars that they started in their garage, they started on their patio, they had that idea and now here they are. Tell me a little bit about what you would offer to a fellow entrepreneur as advice. Would you tell them to just keep with their dream? Would you tell them to dive into a specific type of promotional material, or just what's the type of advice that you would give to someone who's just like, I don't know what to do, but I want to get started?
I would say just it sounds so cliche, but just do it. One thing I get saddened when I hear people say is like, I don't have money. And it's just like that. If that was the only issue, you're doing good, because entrepreneurship, I mean, once you start doing whatever it is that you love doing, the help is going to come. You're going to get people that's going to be fired up with you about your dream. You're going to get people that are going to offer resources. You're going to get people that are going to offer help. They're going to connect you. You're going to fall in at the right place at the right time. It's going to happen. That is how I'm here now. It was just something that I started, and eventually things started happening. People started getting attracted to what I was doing, and they were pushing me in areas that I didn't think I would go to myself, So don't worry about the money. I mean, we live in a land of opportunity. It's coming from somewhere. As long as you're grinding and you're creative and you figure out, okay, if I don't have money, what other ways can I make this happen? Whatever you've thought of, do it, and it'll come. You might have to, I mean, that's what happens anyways as an entrepreneur. We don't have money, so you learn to be creative. And that's a skill set you have to always sharpen, is your creativity. So don't let money be something that stops you. And just go. Just do it.
Just get it done.
Just get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of creativity, tell me about some of the unique things that you're doing right now for your business.
Well, right now, right now in the month of December, we're planning for our 100K challenge, which is a challenge that we've put for ourselves to make our first six figures, to have our first 6-figure year. So with me being a 2-year business, I thought that it's something that is achievable, but at the same time, it is a challenge because I have not touched 6 figures yet. So in the year 2019, we're challenging our business to do its first 100K in revenue, and just to see how far we can push ourselves. If we do more, that's great. If we do less too, it's still great, because it's still, natural in entrepreneurship. You set goals, and sometimes you crush them, and you set goals, and sometimes you gotta go back to the drawing board and say, okay, where did I go wrong? And the most unique thing about this challenge is that it's going public, and that you're going to be able to see it happen on my page, Ciliana Jean, on Facebook and on Instagram, or under Halene's Creole Catering, Haleans Creole Catering.
Ciliana, this sounds so exciting. I am getting hungry just talking about this. Love it. I want to say thank you and best of luck to you. Thank you for listening to Working the Suncoast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you consume your audio. Don't forget to download our app, available for free on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To learn more, visit careersourcesuncoast.com. Thanks again, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.